Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing my filming setup with you. I get so many questions about what kind of camera I use, what kind of lighting I have, even what kind of light bulbs I use. So I'm going to be sharing all of those details with you as well as any tips I can think of along the way. So let's get started. So this is my lighting setup. I have two soft boxes that sit in front of me here. My tripod sits in the middle in between them. I have a floor lamp in the back, which I just use that to illuminate my back wall. I also turn the lights upwards so it bounces light off the ceiling back down onto me because I don't have another overhead light. So that's what I use. Now the soft boxes in front of me here, I got those in a set of 2 from eBay. The brand is LS Photo Studio Pro. It has 5 lights in each. Instead of the typical 4 because I felt that would give a more even light, so I've been really happy with that. Also, the stands here, those can raise all the way up, so they can go pretty high. I have them on the lowest setting, so I have them all the way dropped down, and I tilt the light up slightly so it just kind of has a very subtle slant upwards. So it kind of sits almost below me and slants up, and that I find that really helps with reducing shadows on the face, and it seems to be like a more flattering light, whereas if you were to have this up higher, tilted down, that does not give a very flattering look, trust me. So basically, I think that's all I can show you about the soft boxes. Other than the back here, I can control each light bulb individually here. They each have their own individual switch. So let me come around to the front here so you can see what I see when I'm filming. So I've got my 2 soft boxes that I look at now. I have my tripod where my camera sits, and behind me here I have my floor lamp. So it is very bright. I have 15 bulbs on me, but I use CFLs, which are compact fluorescent lights, and they stay pretty cool. So I use daylight bulbs, and let me go ahead and flip the camera around and talk to you a little bit about light bulbs and how to choose them. Now, I don't want to bore you too much about the exciting details of light bulbs, but I do want to go over these really quickly because light bulbs are extremely important when you're filming. You want to make sure that you have a nice clean, white, crisp light. You don't want to go for those yellow tone lights at all. That will not do you any good. Now these lights here, like I said, I use compact fluorescent lights, and I find that these are my favorite. I've tried different kinds. You know, there's LEDs, there's your basic incandescent light bulbs, and some of those may put off more light, but I like the clean look of these, and also that they're, you know, they're low energy. So there's 3 main things that you're going to look at when you're picking up your light bulbs, and that is watts, which is just, you know, that just means it's the amount of energy that they're going to use up. And then we have lumens, which is the luminosity, or how you know, the brightness of the light, like how much light output there is. And then you have kelvins. Kelvins is the temperature of the light. It has to do with the color of the light as well, which is extremely important. So this, I get a set of these at Costco for $5, a set of 6 of them, so it's really inexpensive, and they last me a long time. So these are 6500 Kelvin, and so they're a daylight bulb. I like to go with daylight bulbs because it's the clean, crisp light. Now, the higher the Kelvin, the more cool tone the light is going to be, the more whiter and even blue the light's going to be. Now, the lower the Kelvin, the more warm tone, the more yellowy, the more kind of orangey tones that you're going to get. So when filming, you want to go for the clean, crisp, white light. So when you're shopping for your light bulbs, you're going to see the main terms like soft white, bright white, daylight. And like I said, I like to go for daylight, but you know what? We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a quick comparison so you can get an idea of what it actually looks like, you know, all the lights together. Alrighty, let's take a look at what we have here. We've got a full spectrum of lights. This first one here is your basic 60-watt incandescent light bulb. The others that you see are CFLs, or compact fluorescent lights. So we have soft white light here, bright white light, daylight, daylight. Now the difference between the 2 daylights, which you may notice, this one is a little bit dimmer. This one's a little bit brighter. This is the one that I film with. I have all of these bulbs in my soft boxes and my floor lamp. So that's the only thing that I film with. Now the one on the end here that's a little bit dimmer is actually a photography light, specific for photography lighting, and it actually came with my softbox set, and I don't like them a bit. So they were too dim, they were too cool, so they may be a higher Kelvin or a lower lumen. So just keep that in mind when purchasing your daylights, that they can vary. How you have your lights positioned can make a huge difference in how you look on camera. So right now I have my lights dropped down low, like I said, and like I showed, and I have them slightly tilted up. So basically it's kind of like at this sort of angle at me right now. So there's not a whole lot of shadowing. So let me show you what happens if you change the lighting just a little bit. Now this is a perfect example of unflattering lighting. So the way I have the lights set up now is all I did was raise them a foot. They're in the exact same position, raised up 1 foot, and they're slightly slanted down on me instead of being dropped down low and slightly slanted up. So what this does is it creates shadows basically everywhere in very unflattering places. So it kind of like, creates shadows around the eyes, the brow bone. It kind of makes that, come forward and the eyes go in. It makes shadows here, around the mouth, under the chin. It can make you look like you have bags under your eyes when really you don't. So I just wanted to share that kind of, that difference in the lighting positioning, because it really does make a big difference of how you look on camera. For cameras, I have had 2 Panasonics the entire time I've been on YouTube, and I've been really happy with Panasonic. Everything from how they focus, their reaction time of how they focus, and all the way through, uploading onto the computer and the ease of working with the videos. So yeah, I would recommend Panasonic. I know that I don't seem to hear a lot about Panasonics. I usually hear about Sonys or Canons or DSLRs, which I have one of those too. I have a Nikon DSLR. This is a 5100, which I do enjoy this too, but I don't typically use it for just filming my daily videos because there's a lot more settings that I have to work with and fuss with. And when I want to film, if I'm out and about, I want it fast. I want to flip on my camera and just be able to go. I don't want to have to worry about settings. So I find that, my Panasonics are kind of what I like to use for that daily filming. Whereas this, I like to photograph, stills and photograph for my blog and whatever like that. And in case I need to film, in case I need a backup camera, this does film in case I need it. So I think that's pretty much all for cameras. I'll go ahead and list the model number of my camera. It's an HDC, so it's an HD video camera. So it's HDC-TM90 is what I'm currently filming with. Now you can have the most awesome lighting setup and the best daylight bulbs on the market, and you can sit down to film and think that you're all ready and you've got the clean, crisp, white, bright light on you, and then you go to film and it turns out Oompa Loompa orange or alien gray. And it's like, okay, how do I fix this? You want to go into your black and white balance setting in your camera. So you want to turn your camera to manual mode, get in there, and what I do is hold up a blank white piece of paper in front of the camera lens and set the balance to that. And you want to do it when you have all of your lights on you want it to be the exact lighting you're going to be sitting under to try to get that color balanced properly. And I will say that this is one of the hardest areas that I have trouble in. It's one of the most difficult areas, and that's because I'm constantly changing my balance, my black and white balance, because I'm in all kinds of lighting. I'm outside at the beach one day filming, I'm hiking in dark bamboo forest one day, I'm back in here under artificial lighting. I'm constantly changing it on a daily basis, and when you go to change back, like when I'm outside filming and then I come back in here and I film, I have to go back in and change that color balance or that black and white balance, and it can be slightly off. So sometimes it's hard to hit that balance right on every time. So it's something that I constantly work on, but that's definitely one of the main tips. It's so basic, but yet it can do so much, So if you get it right, or if you get it wrong, it's not good. And actually, let's go ahead and check out what Oompa Loompa orange and alien gray would look like under this same exact lighting, just by slightly changing that black and white color balance on the camera. You could look like you got a bad spray tan or Oompa Loompa orange. You could look clinical blue or alien gray, or possibly alien green. Or you could end up with the nuclear glow. Now this is clinical blue for sure. Now your camera may have many other settings, so just get in there and play around with it. You've got your shutter, your aperture, your iris, exposure. There's different things you can adjust in there. Contrast. The contrast is one that I change a lot. I don't tend to change my other settings too often because my camera seems to have a good balance with those just on its own, but when it comes to the contrast, sometimes I do like to change that up a bit. So right now I have my intelligent contrast on, that's what my camera calls it. So the intelligent contrast kind of brightens up the overall look, and if I was to turn that off, it would look something like this. And this is how the picture looks with intelligent contrast turned off. So you can see some of the darker areas of the picture do look a little more pronounced, some of the shadowy effects, you know, it's a little bit darker, a little bit more depth to it. Hair can look a little different, skin tone can look a little different. I do find that it depends on what I'm filming if I want the auto contrast on or off. I find that with tutorials, makeup tutorials, it can work a little better if, you know, colors can be a little more truer if I turn off that auto contrast and just have it like this. You know, while it is nice to have that extra brightening effect that the auto contrast gives, it can wash out the colors sometimes. So that's definitely something to consider. So I sit with my camera about 3 feet away from me. Well, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet away, it depends. Sometimes a little closer, sometimes a little further away. But the other thing that I want to talk about is like the position of the camera, like the level of it. And I used to film, actually quite recently I was filming, and I, for some reason, would always put my camera like at eye level. For some reason I thought I was supposed to be like looking into the eye of my camera or something. And we're supposed to like, I don't know, we were supposed to be like making eye contact or something. Whereas that is not a good idea, because what happens is if you have the camera up like eye level and it's kind of like tilted down so it can see you, it makes your head look really big and your body look really small, and it's just it basically distorts it distorts you, or whatever the camera's looking at, it'll distort that. So you want to watch out for that. I have a very bad habit of doing that because yeah, like I said, I thought I was supposed to be like making eye contact with my camera or something. Whereas now I keep it down low. I keep it, it's about at, you know, it's about right here on me right now. And I think that is definitely a better area for it to be, is right about, you know, neck level, chest level, whatever. And then, you know, you're still able to be fully in the shot, but yet it's not such a distortion, you know. So that was my filming setup. I hope you guys found this helpful, and again, I'm not a professional. I just try to learn from other people that know more than me, and any tips that I can learn, I try to pass on to you guys. So I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!